in modern-day Turkey, which was known at the time as Anatolia. And Jesus told John to write a letter to this church. And so Jameson, why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Well, Philadelphia is one of two churches that were not at all criticized by Jesus. He had nothing harsh or negative, no criticism for them. This one in Smyrna. So that's
good.
Worth noting, yeah. And Philadelphia is often known as like the faithful church. This is the faithful one. That's probably a pretty good thing to be known as. You know, of the churches, we're the one that's really faithful to Christ.
Right.
And there's some conjecture here about what was going on. Later on, he refers to them as being persecuted by what he refers to as a synagogue of Satan. So clearly there was a large number of Jews here in this area in general. What we know historically is that Christians in this part of the world, throughout the Roman Empire, early on, considered themselves to be a sect of Judaism. And it was as a sect of Judaism that they were allowed to not worship the emperor, because Jews had a special dispensation from the Romans that they could pray for instead of to the emperor. And Christians were like, yeah, us too. But we also know that a certain point came in history when there was a divorce, that Christianity stopped being considered a sect of Judaism, which clearly it isn't now. And sort of became more independent from Judaism. And the Jewish Christians were basically kicked out of the synagogue. So for a Christian at that time, to get kicked out of the synagogue means you lose that exemption from the Romans, and you're open now to a lot of abuse. You know, a lot of abuse at the hands of the officials. So likely that is what is being referenced. They don't deny Christ no matter what. They're dedicated to his work. They're going to do what he says. He says that he's opened a door for them. Are you faithful to step through it? He says you have a little strength. So you're not strong, but you have a little strength. So what that means is you're going to have to step through that door with the little strength that you've got, counting on the great strength that Christ has. So it's an act of faith. And are you going to be faithful to do that, to step through the doors he opens, to not deny his name, to do the things that he's asked, to participate, in the Great Commission, in his, acts of evangelism and the growing of his kingdom? Are you going to participate, step through open doors, and be faithful, knowing that you're weak and he's strong? Or are you going to be, like churches we've already visited, who were dead, who've lost, their first love, things like that. So to me, that's what resonates.